Okay, welcome back to DidsburyFM. We've got our next speaker, who's fantastic here, Carlos, who is a tennis coach. Hello to Carlos.
Hello, sorry.
Helpfully, you're wearing a British tennis team hoodie.
Special for the occasion.
Yes, and it's written on the back as well, Mr. Rodriguez. Now, Carlos, I want us to start from the beginning with you. You are Spanish.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've been a coach here. You've been a coach for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
And how long have you been in England?
Moved to England in 2014, so a bit more than 5 years now. And yeah, enjoying it so far, especially the weather.
Yeah, not put off by the rain.
Well, you know, we'll have.
Now, what part of Spain are you from?
I'm from Madrid.
Yeah, brilliant. So, what attracted you, apart from the wonderful rain here in Manchester and the cold weather, to coming to work in England?
Well, tennis wasn't the first thing that took me here, to be honest. I did business in university, so I was just trying to have a change in life and just trying to find new challenges and new opportunities, probably. I have a nice job in Madrid, but you know, sometimes that you feel like you need a change for whatever reason. And my sister lives in Altrincham, quite close, and she's been living there for quite a long time. And my nephew lives here as well, and to be honest, it's a part of my family that I didn't see very much for years. And I said, why not just move in there, you see, just give it a try. And this is what I did. I just moved, started working in a restaurant, because when I came, I couldn't speak English at all. I was just able to say hello, bye-bye.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I started just washing some plates in the back of the restaurant, and yeah, just found tennis a good way to progress, and now, we'll do a lot with tennis,
Yeah, fantastic. So were you a key player, or were you like a Nadal, you know, going to those tennis camps as soon as you came out of the womb, and then like learned to play tennis? How did tennis, what was your love of tennis? Where did that come from?
Okay, well, my love of tennis is, I'm not the worst, but I'm not a star 100%. I play my tournaments, you know, and as a junior I used to play my competitions and everything, just probably enjoying it, just not any top player of the country or anything like that. So yeah, when I think I started when I was 5 or 6 years old. So in my community in Madrid we have a swimming pool and 2 tennis courts next to it. And my mom was just looking for any occasion to leave us, my brother and me, you know, and have a break from us. And yeah, we just started playing tennis just once a week, twice a week. And yeah, I've been playing all life probably, I've probably been playing for 26 years now. I'm 31, so it's not too much.
Wow, that's not too bad at all. So now you've been a coach for so long. And specifically, tell us a bit about what that entails, because sometimes we've invited you on DidsburyFM a lot, and you haven't been here because you've been to watch the tennis in Spain, Davis Cup, and all sorts. So how does that link to your tennis coaching?
I just need to apologize because I've been invited many times, but I've just been busy, but yeah.
No, you don't need to apologize. You're just busy, and I'm just interested in
busy with work. So basically, we do mainly children, probably we do adults as well. So probably our biggest age group is like from 5 to 8 years old. And I think, and I really enjoy these age groups as well, because I feel like we give into the children this portion of coordination, of healthy environment and sport life that they need to continue that in their life, because I continue with these things even now I'm 30, and I'm sure I will be doing it for life. And I think we give these things to children when they're little. They grow up here and never live there.
And do you think it's better to start learning to play tennis from a young age, or do you think you can still come to it, you know, if you're 10, 11, 12 and older?
Yeah, any sport or any activity in terms of coordination, in terms of healthy life, I think as soon as possible, to be honest. So we start even sometimes, we don't do it that often, but we start from 2.5, 3 years old. So probably they're not actually playing tennis. We just practice some, just throwing and catching, use some coordination, and you really can tell with children, for example, are playing with dad or mom in the park. Use what are they doing, and that's great to see how they have a better coordination or a better ability to do anything. And then this goes as well to any aspect of life, because if you're successful in sport, you have confidence in yourself, so that gives you better options in life when you go to find a job, when you're doing an interview, anything in life. I think if you're good at something, you believe that you can do anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I ask you a question just for a moment, just on that? That statistically, girls drop out of playing sport. Usually it's around about 11 or 12. So I just wonder if you had any tips for keeping girls in sport, because they play now because they're primary school and joining, but the evidence isn't quite stack up, and sometimes secondary school they're playing netball. So if you've got any tips that would encourage girls full stop.
That's interesting, because like 6 months ago we had a conference with the LTA talking about that issue, that problem with the girls, that way, especially in competition, we're not getting that many into, and we feel very struggle to get girls representing the country, representing different parts of England in competitions. And what we're talking about is we need to encourage the players thinking about the personality. And so many times we've been thinking like to be equal to everybody and give exactly the same opportunities and give exactly the same treatment to every single player and gender. And sometimes we need to identify that if different players, for example boys and girls of different age group, if they have different personalities, we could treat them in a different way, and that's not bad at all. So for example, we found that girls really enjoy teamwork and team competitions. If you probably ask few girls to play a single tournament, they'll be thinking about it and not 100% so. But if they come in with their friends, we're playing, for example, doubles, they will be so much happy about it.
Right.
Boys enjoy team competitions as well, teamwork, but maybe they are a bit more up for the single part of it, a bit more selfish, we can say, in a way.
Yeah, interesting. So you were talking about personalities before, and my children, certainly my boys, are very different. My oldest son, when he plays tennis, he likes to joke with the player. So he's probably more like the Australian player who's not gonna. Yeah. I probably know his name now, but.
Yeah. Curious.
Yeah, curious. Yeah. So I would say Jack's probably more like curious, and Will is probably more like Federer. So very different personalities.
Yeah,
so their coaching is very different. They go to 2 different places to be coached. So the one that's like Federer likes the routine, likes the drilling, and doesn't miss anything. Whereas my other one, which is much more relaxed, it's got to be fun, or he's not interested, isn't actually a bad player. So I just wonder if you have children like that, what do you do to try and engage them a bit? Because that's quite hard. If you've got a squad, you're trying to get to play a tournament, and you've got to vary it. I mean, it's like all sports, I guess, but I just wonder what you would do as a coach to try and engage them a bit. Or the curious character. It doesn't need birds.
It's difficult at this point, probably. Probably if you manage to find a solution to that be earlier, that would be great. But probably if we get any player in this situation, we'll probably try to show them how the other player feel when you having this on the other side of the court or on the other side, because it's very easy to do that yourself, but if you're not feeling how that affects you, it's just difficult to see. Sometimes you don't see the things until that happens to you. It's difficult sometimes, depending on the personality of the children. Normally you have something behind these things. So it's not only tennis, it's always you have different aspects. You have friends, they have the school, they have parents, different family. So you can't really control every single aspect. But we just try to have chat in the most friendly way. We try to speak face to face to the players, even if they're 5, 8, 10, 15 years old. You just make them feel like you're not more than them, or they know more than you. We're using the same page, and just try to make them understand that this is not a great feeling where someone is probably joking at something that you really care.
Yeah. So can I ask you, so our record in tennis isn't great. I mean the English tennis record. And I just wondered, what's the LTA been doing to try and sort of encourage tennis? You mentioned a bit about the girls thing, but what initiatives are there? I know there are a couple of initiatives where you book for 6 weeks, you get a free racket and a t-shirt and so on. So I just wondered what's being done to try and sort of encourage, I don't like the word groom, encourage children who could be future British and play for the British team. I mean, what's the LTA doing? I mean, I know some of the initiatives, but can you share some of that with us?
I think actually I've just been working with the LTA for the last probably 3-4 years. Well, yeah, since 2017, so the last 3 years we've been running these courses, this initiative in the whole UK that is called Tennis for Kids. I think it's a great thing. It's a course thought for starters in the primary school, so starting from 4 years old to 11 years old. That covers a very big range. And used for, I think what they pay, £25. They get a brand new tennis racket, they get a set of balls, they get a tennis t-shirt, and also a 6 weeks course with a qualified coach. So I think it's very good, very good way to introduce children. And then very honest probably, and nationally we are in about 130,000 children probably.
Wow.
So it's something quite nice.
Yeah.
Probably this is just the base, so probably you probably find some very good players in 5-10 years time, or hopefully one of them playing Wimbledon that started with this kind of courses, and that would mean that it's a great success.
Yes.
But I think the LT is doing a great effort and very good into introducing new children and new people into a sport. Then always the winter comes.
Yes.
And I know it's difficult for players and parents when it's cold, when it's rainy, to come down with your bracket and feel as excited as you started in June. But most of the time it happens, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not just tennis, it's rugby as well.
Exactly.
All the outdoor sports. So I want to ask you a few things then about community. You know, you're Spanish originally, you're here in England, you're British, whatever. What does community mean to you? For you, what does it mean in Spain, and what does it mean now? You know, you're in England, you work hard, working with children. What does community mean to you?
It is just probably the environment where I can feel I can do something for. I'm just feeling great when I'm just, I don't know, going wherever, going to the supermarket, and most of the time a 5 years old is doing like this on the other side of the road, and Mom, that's the tennis guy, because they saw me in school doing a few lessons after school or something like this. Yeah. So I feel like I contribute in a way. Probably I'm not the most important person in their lives, but I enjoy feeling like I gave them something, and they probably are better people in the future because of that. Not very massively, but I enjoy thinking that, to be honest. So, yeah, it's community. Yeah, it's just the way how I can feel I help a little bit.
Yeah. Now, often on here we ask people about money. So if I had £1 million, had £1 million and I gave you £1 million,
Thank you very much.
I haven't really got it, I always have to clarify
Okay.
this. What would you spend £1 million on for the community?
For the community.
Yeah, we're a community initiative, we're about connecting people. What would you spend £1 million on?
Probably, I'm coming from the sport, so probably I'll tend to go on sport things, I guess. Probably not use of tennis. Well, probably I think the community probably needs like better facilities to improve the facilities, especially indoor facilities to help this kind of sports or the summer sport just continue during the winter.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a great way, like just to give the opportunity to people, even if they don't want to spend or they can't spend a big amount of money, just to enjoy nice facilities and nice indoor facilities to practice their sports, whatever is badminton, football, tennis. I think any sport needs these things.
Excellent. So, what do you do for well-being? What do you do? You're working, teaching all the kids all the time, then you're going to all the tennis matches, and you're playing on tournaments. How do you relax? What do you do to relax? You don't have to tell us if it's illegal. But what do you do for your own, emotional well-being and health?
Yeah, to be honest, tennis is a very, very big part of my life, and sometimes my girlfriend is always saying, "Just put the racket down." Because I play tennis myself quite a lot, and this is how I relax. Even if I'm coaching for 8 hours a day, I'm just thirsty to go on court and play myself. Also, I really enjoy mountain bike. So I normally get my mountain bike and go Chorlton Water Park and all the river. Sometimes when I have more time, I go to the Peak District. It's nice. Just headphones on, music, and cycling. Just sweating a bit, and that's a really a nice way for me to relax.
Yeah, it's really good. I think we all need that. And just you said about going to Chorlton Water Park. What do you like about South Manchester? Why do you like this area? What's nice about it?
I really like it actually, and I've been living in different parts. I've been living in North Manchester and East Manchester, and the South it has something like the character of the houses is very nice. We don't have like big buildings like in town. I really like this kind of structure. And massive parks, a lot of places, this kind of cafeterias, these pubs where you can sit down with a coffee and watch through the window is quite nice actually. I enjoy it.
Yeah, so that's really good. So, what have you got a quote that you live your life by, and have you got a favourite book? Maybe quote first and then book. What when you were living your life? So I'm always about being authentic, so I like the quote from Hamlet, which is above all, we choose thyself. But have you got a favourite quote that maybe you live your life by? So I try to be authentic and true, and whatever I do. I just wondered if you had a quote that you live by.
If I have to choose one, I would say, sow your emotions even if the others don't like it, because they're yours. I'm actually reading a book now, it's a Spanish book, I have to say. It's called Patria. And
we've got Google Translate.
no worries, yeah, it's like nation, something like this. But it's just talking. Do you know this? Probably in the 60s or 70s, these little villages where everyone is talking about everyone. And we don't do things, we don't say things, and we even know ourselves because what the others are thinking about us.
Yeah.
And that's funny, because especially in the little communities that happens very, very often, and you end being a different person because of what the others are thinking about you. And I think sometimes we have to stop and say, why I'm not gonna be doing this, or I'm not gonna be saying that if it's not wrong. If it's even nice, but maybe and I think children as well think are doing these things like, I'm not gonna do that because my friends are gonna think I'm a freak or something like this, or something bad, and like this is yourself. You need to be proud of who you are and what you do, and that's it.
I like that. Well, just give us a quote again, because I didn't write it properly. So, what did you say? Sow yourself, show your passion, even if others don't like it.
Yeah, I think you show your emotions, or just be yourself, basically. Just be yourself, and it doesn't matter what the others. As long as you think it's right, just go for it.
So we're not going to talk about Brexit. That's a different subject. But what did you say about the book? What was the name of the book?
Patria.
So this is, I guess, the final question, really, or coming to final. What do you think is going to happen with Brexit in Spain?
I think...
From your point of view,
yeah.
You know, you work here, you live here, you love Manchester, you love England. What do you think?
Personally, to me, I think it's not going to change very much. First thing, I'm just working locally in Manchester, Stockport, so I think it would affect more for the maybe companies that are buying goods or selling to Europe. That's probably a bigger issue. For me, I don't think it's going to change that much. What I'm a bit worried is if because of that, because of Brexit, we get involved in a economic crisis or something like this. It's in Spain or the whole Europe. No, we had a big crisis like 10 years ago, and it's still recovering. So I'm not sure if just stopping selling to Europe or just the change of rules that we still don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this is going to affect to the economy, but that's probably the worry. I guess once UK is out of the European Union, they will start just talking to countries, doing different kind of deals, and I guess in the common sense they will try to keep things as nice as possible, because there are thousands of English people living in Spain, thousands of Spanish people living in England, so I guess just for people just to make their lives easier, I think they should find a way of not changing things very much. Or just to keep it in the nicer way as possible. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Hopefully.
Thank you. We don't normally ask that question, but as we've got you on, might as well. So I suppose the final thing is, have you got any role models? Growing up, were your parents your role models? Because you seem to be quite a grounded person. Who was your role model, or who really was the person inspiring you growing up?
I probably have one of my older friends. Normally my friends were a bit older than me. And this is especially one called Jorge. I'm normally quite not like I want to be like him, but it's like I always thought like...
What was he like?
I don't know, this kind of person that is always right, or that you think is always right. Well, you have different opinions, like, I like yours, or whatever behavior everybody's doing, I think yours was the best. Oh no. So it could be a role model, yeah, it could be. So sometimes you can say someone a bit more like farther from you, like your dad or a teacher or something, probably was a friend, and that was probably nice to have.
Nice to have, yeah. Brilliant. Can we give Carlos a round of applause? We've got time for questions. I think we're at 9:30.
Yeah, no worries.
I've got a question I'll ask at the end, but do we have some questions from the audience?
Okay. Who's your favourite tennis player of the modern era? And who's your favourite tennis player from 20, 30 years ago?
My favourite player right now, saying Federer, it would be so easy.
It's not
everyone likes Federer.
It's
So
not mine.
we just gonna leave Federer apart, okay? Because I would say Federer, honestly. Well, I'm going to say Dominic Thiem. I can
Who's
get
that? I don't know.
Austrian, I think. I think you can really see the hard work in his game. I really like this kind of players that are not that talented, that like 4 years ago, probably Agassi. Probably Agassi is kind of a style of game that I really enjoy. I'm just 30, so I've probably not been watching that much tennis for these years. But yeah, probably Agassi was one of the guys, because Sampras was good as well. But
I was going to say Sampras.
yeah, but he was more like surf and volley or things like that. And this is like, it's not just my personal game. It's not very much like it. So. Probably I was playing a bit more like Agassi, well, not like Agassi, I hope. I would love to, but the style of game probably.
I've got another question, which is...
well, have you got a question from this side? Okay, no, I've got a question.
Throw a few out quickly. Do you think the modern players, if they had to play with wooden rackets, would still be champions, or would there be different players who play differently?
Well, I think if the players would have now played with wooden rackets, they probably break the rackets every game.
Yeah.
Every game, because they couldn't cope with that. They used to all, and now they have a physio, they have someone to control the diet. We have a team of 10 people used for one person, just controlling every single movement, every single press up they do, and they just controlling that the effectiveness. So yeah, I think with all of that they're having right now, it will be so much more difficult for them. And it's in terms of personality as well. They've been growing up with all that things, and I'm not 100% sure if they could get it with the other way.
So I've got a question I want to ask you. It's about Andy Murray's hip. So he's had his hip operation now. I know you are not a sports physio.
Yeah, well,
okay, we've got an opinion. We've all got and so now he's won one of his first singles tournament. Which was amazing.
China?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So I just wondered, how common are those injuries? He's only a young guy, Sir Andy Murray, I don't know what to say. I'm a huge fan of him. But how common are those injuries for somebody so young to be having a hip operation? It's not a replacement, I don't think. Very young. And do you think he can win a major tournament and major, by that I mean, French Open, American Open?
I think he can do well in the next couple of years or 3 years. It's always difficult to tell, and to be honest, the medicine has improved a lot, and every single year is improving more and more and more. But to be honest, with Rafa Nadal, we'll have the same question.
Yeah.
His knees are pretty bad, and they've been bad for years, and he's still playing. But also, what these kind of players they need to learn, and they're learning to do, is to choose which tournament they have to play and which tournament they not play, and when to rest and when to play. Because, for example, Roger Federer is not playing the clay tournaments, and is resting for 3 months, and then is going straight to Wimbledon. So at this kind of level, you can't play everything, because they play every single week. They have a tournament, and they play 5 days of the week, and that's too much for our body. So they just need to learn to choose well, and with the team use what tournaments they're gonna be playing, when we have to rest. Probably most of them want to play every single tournament, but they should have someone behind saying, just wait, take a week of training and take care of yourself, and then go next week with more energy. But yeah, hopefully we'll have Murray a lot of years playing high competition. I think he could be alright for the next 2 or 3. After that, who knows?
Yeah. So now to about the women's game. Williams sisters have dominated, certainly Serena's dominated that game for so long. And I would have liked to have seen her with Wimbledon, especially after giving birth and so on. So what do you think about physically, the way that they physically changed the game? Because they trained, their father had them in, not a traditional kind of training. And now where actually, they are being beaten by people who don't look like them. Well, certainly Serena is. Venus has got health problems and not on top of that. So what do you think about that sort of mindset of, training to win physically and changing the game? Because certainly Serena has dominated the women's game for a long time.
Yeah, the game is changed probably since the 80s or the 90s, and it was all skills, it was all ability, it was all placing the ball in different zones of the court. But now it's about physics, and it's about training physically very, very hard and very, very strong. And with the rackets we're playing now, and the ball goes super fast, and it's just about strength as well. And it's a very, very, and every time it's a bigger part of it. And we can see a lot of players who are not maybe that skillful, they're not that good in their shots, but they're fighting and they're running and they're physically very good. They win matches and they win tournaments. So so in the end, we're talking about the Williams. We have to say in the favor that Venus is probably 41 now. I can't remember right now. Was in the 40s. So yeah, when you're 40, probably you're playing against an 18, 19, 20 years old girl, that makes the difference. So maybe not in how hard you try it, so it's probably in how long you can give 100%. Probably if you're 40, you can give 100% during 1 hour and a half. If you're 20, you can do it forever.
Yeah. So the final question is this: the game is a bit boring to watch now. Because we don't have the McEnroes. I love tennis.
Oh, okay. I'm curious.
We have got curious. That's why I like curious. If only you could stop eating burgers and go to the pub the night before the game. But do you think we'll ever get those characters back now? The McEnroes and the Beckers, a bit of legacy. Because actually, there aren't a lot of protests. Because I know you ref as well. Mm-hmm. Not much protest. I don't mean bad tempers and rumours. I just mean a bit of a character that people enjoy. Because in England, most people who watch Wimbledon do not play tennis. They've never been on a tennis court. So the excitement of the game is about other things. So I just wondered if you think we might get that.
So I think probably we'll have to be careful with this kind of characters. I think it's great having a little bit of a showman part in the players, and I think Djokovic is a little bit like this, especially Monfils is quite good with that things. So they're making jokes, speak to the camera, speak to the umpire. So they create a nice environment, or use the way of they let the public to participate in the match in a way. So I think that's great. But sometimes it is too much. For example, with these things of curious, it gets a bit too much and it gets uncomfortable. So I think it's nice, and also this kind of players that have they try very hard on the sport. Probably they don't have that much space for jokes or for going out with friends or just to go and sit down with a drink. So they probably express this on the court, and that's amazing. But always in a nice and respectful way. That is not always happening. But 100%. I remember when Djokovic was doing like Rafa Nadal, because I don't know, you remember Rafa Nadal has before every single point has like every kind of things like this, exactly the same things 4 or 5 times. And it's quite fun to watch. And Djokovic was like recreating that, and Rafa was even laughing at it, you do it so well. So these kind of things are obviously positive for the sport. And you were saying probably that it gets boring sometimes. Even that I'm the number one fan, sometimes I get bored watching tennis, depending on what match we're watching. But probably when you understand a bit more the tactics, a bit more what's happening in the game or why things are happening, you enjoy more. It's like with me when I'm watching cricket. I don't really know how they score. I just know they just trying to hit the sticks and the other one defending. So when you don't really understand what is going on behind the screen, probably it gets a bit boring. But that's not always gonna happen.
No, Only that endless long serves.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Can we have a round of applause for